Elkana Cohen is a captain in the IDF, and he wrote a book called October 7, The War Against Hamas Through the Eyes of an Israeli Commando, available starting today on Amazon.com. This is a very compelling book. It is a in-time, not just eyewitness account, a participatory account of what was taking place at Ground Zero there. It's very hard to discuss what's in this book because it's a journal. It's a personal account, step by step, of everything that was taking place. That's why Prime Minister Netanyahu found it to be such a profound book, and it is a profound book. I've read this book, and I believe in it very, very strongly, and I believe in the captain here very, very strongly as well. It's a great honor to introduce you, America, to Captain Elkana Cohen. Again, the book is out right now, Amazon.com, October 7, The War Against Hamas Through the Eyes of an Israeli Commando. Elkana, I want to start from the beginning. And your book describes this. How did you learn about what was taking place on October 7th? What exactly happened, and what exactly did you do, and how quickly did you do it?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having me. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you.
And on October 7, it was a holiday, Simchat Torah, and we slept in our in-laws. And 5:30 in the morning, 1 hour before everything started, my wife woke me up. She was terrified. She told me that she had a nightmare, and in her nightmare, hundreds of terrorists were chasing us, and I couldn't use my gun in order to defend ourselves. To be honest, I just hugged her and told her, Shiran, don't worry, nothing will happen. And we both went back to sleep. But then 1 hour later, I was awakened by the Iron Dome system that was activated from the missile who were shot from Gaza towards Israel. At that point, I understood that something is going on. And I told my wife, we're going to meet at the shul, because we were sure that everything, it will be as Simchat Torah as usually. But I ran into my house and I opened my phone. I called my commander, and while I was talking to them, I asked them, Yossi, what's going on? And then he told me, something bad happening right now in the south. I can't describe what's going on because I don't have all the information, but just prepare everything you have and I'll tell you. And then I hang up the phone call and I got another phone call of my friends that told me that my wife got called up as well. Me and my wife both served in the same unit, in the Duvdevan unit. And me getting called up with my wife, I can tell you that no question, no hesitation. I realized what we need to do. And I just packed my stuff, ran into my car, drove to the shul, took my wife, and we both drove to the unit. This is how it's all started for me.
So you're taking this drive, you're driving, and again, the book lays this out brilliantly, and as a matter of fact, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is quoted from your book. Where exactly did you arrive, and when you arrived, what did you find?
So I went into my base, and when I entered into the base, I saw that there was hundreds or even thousands of people that voluntarily jumped and left everything, stopped everything, and ran to defend their country. Actually, they told me that they already have too many people in the base and I can leave and go. I said, no way, I'm leaving that. And then they told me we don't have any equipment. So this is the point where I decided to, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but to breach one of the places. I took the vest and everything, and I drove into my old team, the team that I used to train with on my active service, into a different base, Bilu, which we were prepared for the fight. Unfortunately, it was a chaos. We didn't know what we need to do. We got an order, get ready for Lebanon, get ready for Gaza, get ready for Iran. And we maybe going to talk about it later, but we felt that it's not just about Gaza. And we went into 3 weeks of preparation and getting ready to fight. And after 3 weeks of getting called for different places, every time they changed their order, we understood that we are going into the grounded maneuver into Gaza. And this is when I started to document everything, basically. During my fight, I understand that we are witnessing to something that the entire world should understand and know and be aware. And I decided to write a journal every day. And this is how I find myself talking here, because for me, it's important to let the entire world understand what we've been through.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty here a little bit. When you enter Gaza, when do you first confront and engage the enemy? And what was that initial engagement like?
So when we first entered Gaza, the first engagement was after a few weeks, not the first moment, because we mostly engaged, I have no other word to describe it, instead of rats. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Because they're not fighting as a combat soldier. I'm dressed with uniform. Everyone knows and recognizes that we are the IDF. But they are fighting from tunnels. They're going up, shooting, and then going down. Most of the time, you can't even recognize your enemy because they're hiding under tunnels. They're hiding behind houses, behind civilians. And so for the first, I think, 2 weeks, we didn't saw anyone. We just heard like gunshot towards us, and then they vanished and disappeared. But we did saw the amount of weapons and mortar picture in every house. You know, some of the people trying to say it's Hamas. Well, it is Hamas, but it's not just Hamas. Hamas, it's a name code. But I can tell that every house that I've been through had ammunition, rifles, mortar pictures in their houses. We saw grenade under baby beds. It was everywhere. And so when we're talking about Hamas, it's not just Hamas. I think the majority of the people in Gaza, at least the places that I've been, in the northern part of Gaza, was totally supporting Hamas, were totally supporting the October 7 breach and what the horrible act that they did there. It was shocking knowledge for me because, as I told you, I'm reserve. I'm not an active duty. I'm reserve duty, and I rather have a boring life. Believe me, I rather to stay in my house with my wife, with as a newlywed and expecting father with my future baby. But they forced me to fight, and I'm glad and proud to fight for my country. But I can't imagine why, for any reason, why people will put ammunition under his baby beds. Why would they support such a horrible thing? And me getting into Gaza for the first time, I try to look for some innocent people that I would say, all right, there is a hope. There is maybe a reason for peace. You know, when I'm interviewed, some people ask me, what do you think about peace? I want peace. I'm desire for that. But unfortunately, I cannot see any peace with someone who wants to kill me. And it's not one or two people. It's the majority over there. And yeah, this is what the first experience that I had.
For all this and much more, sign up for levintv.